Back in the building. Oh, this is going to be a good podcast interview here. This has been a long time coming, but it's here now. So from rock bottom to rear view rebuild, how one man turned setbacks into a 5-star auto glass brand. So welcome to another episode of Catch the Vision, the podcast where we highlight real stories behind bold visions, hard decisions, and the road to success. So today's guest is my brother from another mother, who's someone who just didn't build a business, he rebuilt his life. So I got the privilege to sit down with Daniel, the owner and visionary behind Auto Glass Genie. It's one of the fastest growing auto glass installations company that's changing the game in Little Rock, Arkansas, and beyond. But before the success, before the 5-star reviews, before the same-day installations and loyal customers, there was a man navigating divorce, navigating bankruptcy, navigating multiple jobs, and holding onto a vision when most people would have walked away. You think I'm talking about me? No, my name is not Daniel. It's Kevin D. Williams. That's Daniel right there. D, welcome to the show, brother.
Man, look, I appreciate it. It's definitely been a long time coming.
I know, right?
For us. Yeah.
Daniel, how far back do we go back? Do you remember who introduced us?
I do.
Because I was like, who? I know I can see the young lady's face, but I can't remember the name. But go
Christine
ahead.
Bell.
Dang.
Christine,
you got good memory, man.
Yeah, Christine Bell. And we met in
2018.
Me and you met in 18.
So
spring
this is
of 2018.
God, dog, you remember all of that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's obvious Tamika your wife never had to worry about wedding anniversary day, her birthday, because you got a good memory, man. I mean, I struggle with that, and I mean well, but I sometimes go to my phone. My wife's birthday. I hope she don't hear that. But anyway, hey, okay, listen. So I remember Christine saying, Kevin, I want to introduce you to this guy named Daniel C. He just opened up an insurance agency, and, he just wanted to get the word out, and I know what you do and stuff like that, but I think you guys would be a good, connection. I said, okay, cool. And sure enough, she introduced us, and then I reached out to you again, asked you would you be interested in doing a sponsorship for an event I had at Red Lobster.
Yep.
And you didn't even second guess. You said, okay, what's the budget?
Yep.
I said, well, man, between 500 to 1,000. He said, let's just do 1,000 and be done with it. I said, okay. And we did that event. And then from that point, we just really started, communicating back and forth. And I was trying to, come up, back then, the little bit of technology I understood, trying to figure out how to, make your business more visible. And then you and I end up getting into a travel business.
Yep.
And then from travel, we end up doing an Airbnb business. So we've always did something together. But Daniel, how did you, during that time we was doing that, your personal life was a little bit, rocky, but even though, you passed that point and you went through the divorce and then you had to, file for bankruptcy to settle that. What was going through your mind at that point?
Man, I tell you what, there was a lot going through my mind at that time, from the time we met, I just had the passing of my mother and then going through the divorce and then the bankruptcy and then had the passing of my sister. So there was a lot of stuff just lifing in my life, trying to figure it out. So whenever I had figured out, something that I wanted to do or be better for my health or, I didn't know if I wanted to leave the state, leave the country. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But back in 2013, I had worked for another glass company as a DM, and I just seen how he operated it. and it was not efficient, and it just was not the friendliest environment, with that and the customers.
So it was more of a numbers game.
It was more of a numbers thing, and treated the employees the same way. Didn't
Really?
treat them like family. Didn't treat them like like they mattered. And this is a guy that was, I want to not say hands off, but he was kind of hands off. Had another guy, but he was based out of California, so he just didn't. He was expecting more and more and more, but not really understanding what the economy was doing in every state that he had a building in. So. But anyway, so not knowing what I wanted to do, I really enjoyed doing glass, and it had been talked about for several years with me and my business partner about opening a shop, and that went on for probably about 4 years.
Really?
Of just
talking about the idea.
Talking about
Tossing
the idea,
around. Okay.
and just not really thinking nothing about it. Well, we finally made that decision in 18, the same year that me and you met. That later on. In 19, we made the decision to just open up our first location in South Arkansas. And at that time, I was still working for the corporate world and going from there. And then my sister passed, and I was working here in Dallas. And what it done was we turned CrossIt into a name brand in South Arkansas. But when my sister passed, and just health reasons, I mean, stress that you don't realize you're under working for, a corporation and stuff like that, it just made me want to come back here in Little Rock and open up a Little Rock location to service Little Rock, because I know what the other glass shops are doing.
Really?
So I got here, opened it up in Little Rock, and whenever we done that, we turned around and found one location, one bay, not where we wanted to be, but it was available.
Right.
And that's how we started.
Right.
So I done that, and to help support that, I got my CDL, but I was a school bus driver.
I remember that.
In the morning.
Yeah.
Worked the glass business during the day, had
Right.
the insurance agency at the same time.
Yeah.
And then I done another on-call job overnight. So I done 4 things to make sure everything was,
for that particular
business.
Yeah.
Me and my business partner had the vision, we had the faith, we had the belief. It
Right.
was just, you got to get it and get it out there.
Right.
Very little marketing. It was just me at the time, and then what we done was we just kept putting it out there. People that would, we got on Facebook finally and stuff like that, but it started off real slow the first year. After the first year, it just kind of opened up a little bit. What little bit of business that we did, people were coming to us from referrals. It's like, man, I heard that you had the best prices in town. I heard you were the friendliest. You in and out, same day service. Going from there. So that's what we were shooting for. So after hearing that, I really sit down and revisited our model of what I wanted to be different from other glass shops, and that brought us being born to the Auto Glass Genie brand that we have now is fast and fair service. We don't get customers in and make them sit around for 2 or 3 hours that I've seen at, other places. We get them in, we get them out, usually going in about 45 minutes, unless they have some sensors in their windshield that's got to be recalibrated, and it might take an hour, but usually it does not. But most places we can, most places that we go on mobiles and stuff like that, we usually be done about 30 to 45 minutes. So we changed that. Then we changed the friendliness environment. We greet every customer by the first name when they come in, because one, we notice the car when they're coming in. We look at the schedule. We greet them by their first name. A lot of your shops just come in, how can I help you, or whatever the case may be. So that really was a particular part. But the biggest part is the price. Our price is unbeatable. I guarantee it. And the reason why I say that is because I'm not out here trying to get rich. I'm just trying to support myself. And now I have 3 people that work for me. So now I've been able to expand that brand over 4 years and help them support their families also. And I'm not going to stop from there. You know, we're going to keep going.
So let me ask you this, Daniel. Let's rewind back just a little bit. Before you got into the building, you were actually doing auto glass installation in like your truck or something?
In a truck.
Yeah, so talk about that.
So we were doing mobiles out of a van and a truck, which is what most people start at, and going from there. And that's nothing abnormal, but we had the truck and my business partner, we were doing it out of a van and he was doing it out of his Tahoe. So that's nothing abnormal, but it's just trying to find a building is what we really wanted. We wanted to be a part of the community. When you're in a vehicle situation, you can be a part of the community, but people sometimes want to actually see a building in place because that way they can trust you. I guess it's a trust issue. Otherwise, they see a truck, they don't know if you're going to be in business tomorrow or not. You know, and it could happen that way in a building also. But you know, the difference in a building is you got a lot invested in going from there. So yeah, so we started out with the truck, and then I ended up getting growing and had to get 2 work vans and go from there. So now we service, you know, the biggest part of, or not, we service all of Arkansas into Memphis, Tennessee, and some in Shreveport and a little bit in Texas. So that's where we service right now. That's where we've kind of expanded to. Okay.
Now, let's talk about chip repair. On average, chip repair for a windshield typically costs how much? The national average?
Around $160 national average.
How are you all able to do free chip repairs? I mean, explain that concept.
Well, this is something that we wanted to add to our plate and be different. When you get a windshield replaced through us, we just offer free chip repair. And the reason why is because
for the life of that windshield?
For the life of the glass. Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason why is because what happens is sometimes people spend what little bit of savings they have on a glass because of a freak accident or whatever. And, you know, glass repair is getting more costly with the price of goods. So we just felt like it was a good thing to just offer free chip repair for the life of the glass if you get your windshield. That way, if you get a chip, you just call, stop by, hey, I had my glass repaired, XYZ. We can look it up in the system, and then we just fix it for free. It's not that big of a deal for us. It's not going to change nothing about me going broke. But what it does change is it gives the customer peace of mind of having to come out of pocket extra money, especially if they just spent $700 on a windshield for recalibration and whatever. Now they got to come out another $100, you know, or more pocket a week or two, because we all know when we get something changed, something bound to happen and go from there. So, you know, that's what we do. So we just, and it's worked very well for us.
Really?
You know, customers, it's just another niche that customers say, hey, you know what? They really go out of their way to take care of their customers. And that's what we try to do and go from there.
So with the concept that, you know, you and your business partner, and shout out to Dre Day, did you ever think that you was going to gain media attention, like being featured in you could be in Black Enterprise.
I could be in Black Enterprise.
Yeah, your business partner Black, so yeah, it's okay. But did you and Dre ever thought that you'd be featured in Business Insider, Associated Press, MarketWatch, Apple News, you know, Yahoo Finance, and then also KARK,
KARK in Arkansas. Yeah. No, when we first started this was really about us and us working for ourselves.
Right.
That's really what it was about. We knew what we were doing, but we just didn't think that it would grow like that. Especially growing to get, 3 more people working for us. So we did not realize that it was going to turn like that. But with our business model, it did turn into that. I was able to gain a lot of contracts. a lot of national contracts to go from that standpoint. And that's really, to me, the national recognition and everything is great, but it's really the people and our customers that is what's really recognized us. That's made us great. The Google reviews, the constant comeback and trust, and that's what's really helped us out. Gaining the national attention is just more icing on the cake for us, because we know what we're doing. I've been told in the past that, I lacked the knowledge, skills, and abilities to run a business.
Really?
Been told that. But yet the same people that said that have went out of business.
Wow.
And I'm growing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now, mind you, Kevin, we opened this during COVID.
Yeah.
We started this business in COVID. And I've grown now to 2 stores, looking for our 3rd location.
Right.
So, that's a big blessing for us by far. So,
well, there's a saying that some of the biggest wealth transfers happen like in some type of recession.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised. Now, I want to talk about this, Daniel, because you guys are doing what's not normal. Because when we think of so typically in business, if you give good service, then the price has to be more, right? Something has to offset the other thing, right? Or if you give faster service, again, the price has to go up. If you give cheap service, then the customer service has to go down, and as well as efficiency. But you all have been able to do affordable service, not give up the customer service. You've been able to do customer service and not give up the price, and you're able to deliver speed without increasing the price. How are you all going against what's not normal?
Kevin, first off, whenever we look at things like that, our price is based on what we need to survive.
Okay.
All right. And put a little bit in the bank and go from there. Our efficiency is what helps us. We typically may have 2 guys in the shop and then 2 guys on mobiles going from there. And then there are some days that we have everybody in shop because we don't have any mobiles going on.
Okay.
Well, what we do is everybody just works together on that vehicle. Somebody's taking off the cowl, somebody's taking off the wipers, somebody's disassembling the camera or the mirror. So everybody works together. That's how we get our efficiency. And when you're able to do that, what happens is you're able to get more throughput through your shop because everybody's working together as one instead of one person. Yes, it is a one-person job. We understand that. But that's where we're making it change is it may be a one-person job, but we're going to have 2 or 3 people doing the job. Somebody could be cleaning the glass, prepping the glass. Somebody's always doing something. That's what makes us different. And when we do it faster, customers are already in today's world, they're already in a hurry-paced environment. And we can tell that through now you've got Uber Eats. Nobody wants to leave home. You got Uber Eats. You got your drone deliveries here in Dallas, Texas. Nobody wants to leave because it's an inconvenience for them.
People paying for convenience.
People will pay for that. So what happens is our prices are not extraordinarily high, but they are relative to make people understand in our market that we can, I've had people call back and say, are you sure that you got the right price? Because you're way lower than everybody else.
Right.
I understand I'm way lower than everybody else.
Right.
And I do have the right price. They come there, they come in, they're gone within 45 minutes to an hour. And then what happens is they're like, man, I can't believe you got it done that quick. And it's nothing about that. It's just when they see that, they refer somebody else. And as you well know, is anything with sales, it's not really about the price, it's about the numbers. The volume you do. It's not about price. We look at 10 Fitness. They charge $10 a month.
I know.
$10 a month.
Yeah.
So it's not really about the price. It's about the numbers that they get put through. So the same way with us. If it's not about our price, because if we can be efficient, provide that great quality service that we want, solve any issues that may arise, and then we give on the back end peace of mind to the customer, because when we offer lifetime warranty, we work with all major insurance companies,
right?
And then we give you free chip repair for the life of your glass. Then people, there's no reason why not to choose us. We're taking every excuse out of why not to use us
versus other competitors.
And if you think because our price is low, our quality of work is low, then I just challenge you to experience it one time, and you'll see.
Well, I mean,
you have.
I've accepted the challenge.
Yeah.
So I had to share this story because the driver's side window was broken out, and I called around here in the DFW area. I was on either it was a wait list or it was like, yeah, we could do it for $350.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, let me call down there in my man's shop, Auto Glass Genie. I said, Daniel, I said, man, can you? He said, man, I can order the glass tomorrow. You can come down here in a couple of days and we'll get it done. And sure enough, I drove from Dallas to Little Rock to get my glass installed at Auto Glass Genie. And I think you all had me done like in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, now you got to have relationships with people. I'm sharing this, but don't think y'all gonna get this, okay? So when it was done, I said, "What I owe you, D?" I call him D. He said, "What do you want to give me?" I said, "Come on, don't do that." He said, "No, whatever you want to give me." And so, of course, I paid $95 for that glass. Now I'm sure that glass costs more than that, but that's just who he is. Now again, that's because he and I are good friends. That don't happen. Don't think that's going to happen to you. But what will happen is that he's going to make sure that you get a reasonable price, and he will beat the competitors.
Now, I would like to point out that you didn't know the price of the glass. So you did pay for the glass. It was whatever you paid for labor, and I was cool as it was not that big of a deal, So I mean, that wasn't all that big of a thing for me. I had another friend. She lives down here. Back glass on a rental car, and the rental company was trying to tell her that she was going to have to pay a deposit toward the glass and go from there. And she called me, and she drove all the way up from here up to there, and I done the glass for $250 for her, and they were going to charge her the $500 deposit and charge for whatever it may be over on the glass. And here's the funny part. I deal with these rental companies a lot, and they said, well, we don't know if you're a authorized glass dealer. And I said, well, I got 4 or 5 years, and I've got, pretty well knowledge of working and doing work for you guys. So I would say so, because you guys call me all the time. I ain't going to call the name out, but their logo is green and black. So, we kind of know where that is and who that is. So, but anyway, so she come up, we put it in, she took the rental car back, and didn't hear nothing else from them. So, I mean, that's the difference. I mean, it's one of those things that there are companies, and I get it. A company is out here to make money. And don't get me wrong, I am too. But as long as I can make money, pay my guys, and put a little bit in the bank, and we continue to grow and pay bonuses, I'm good. I'm good. And I know what that price mark is for us. So
Daniel, what about, you guys get a lot of phone calls, and they say, well, I just got off the phone with the last name of this glass company, with it's called Light. They just put it that way, right?
Yeah.
And they said, I just got off the phone with Light, and they're saying that their glass installation is this. What's the question you always ask them? Are they including what?
Are they including recalibration?
So talk about that and why they don't do that.
So let me tell you what a lot of the glass companies are doing now. If you have what they call lane departure or the ADAS system in your vehicle, and you won't know it unless somebody points it out to you or you just know that it's in there. What some companies are doing is they're giving you the price of the glass and labor. And you're like, man, that's good. And then you call somebody like me who includes everything in it. That's lane departure, any moldings, whatever the case may be. And I may be maybe $300 more because of the calibration. They said, well, so-and-so quoted. I said, the first question I ask them is are they recalibrating? Well, they say they are. Okay, well, do me a favor, call them back. Because that's why I want you to be, I'm on the up and up.
Right.
I mean, I always tell people how much I pay for the glass. Here's how much labor is. I don't have to hide anything, because at the end of the day, honesty and integrity is what we strive for. That's what we want to do. So on some websites, if you look at the price of the glass, down there at the bottom it says your glass may need to be recalibrated. If so, additional charges may apply. So they've gave you the price of the glass and labor.
This is not the price of the calibration.
Not the price. So when they get you in and they've got your glass out, now you're going to get hit with an additional fee. And now you're thinking, well, it didn't say that. Okay, go from there. So we done a vehicle, FYI. We done a vehicle yesterday. It was a door glass on a vehicle. That same company, ends with light. He said, well, I gave him my price. Well, they said that their price is $85.42. I'm like, how much? They said $85.42. I said, I don't think that's right. And he said, well, that's what it says right here. So are you sure? I said, I'm telling you that they're going to be about $330 on that glass. He said, well, it shows right here on the site, 85. He said, oh, wait a minute. You're right. The total price is $346. The $85 is the pay in 4 installments price. They've got that listed first. And at the bottom, they read it. So there's
it's a pay in installments.
Because they
confusion.
Confusion. They give you that price. They get you in, and then you're there. So that. And then when you call us, you talk to a real person. You call Safe Flights, you're getting an automated person. You may call somebody else, you're getting an automated person. You get a real person with us. And that was one of the biggest things is because we can understand, comprehend, and solve any issues on the front end. And if there is an issue, my CSR will usually come get me, say, hey, can you come look at this? So yes, I am in the shop. Yes, I do work. Yes, I do answer the phone. It's like, hey, well, let me get, they say boss, but when they say boss, they're talking about me. So, we always look at that and go from there. But, just when you get quotes, I always urge people, call everybody else and then call me last. You're going to find out how much cheaper I can tell you how much cheaper I am than everybody else. That's just what I know.
Right.
And then we also do price matching just in case you get somebody that is cheaper than me.
Right.
But there are things, and the reason why they're cheaper than me, there may be several factors, but one thing to remember about them is if you have a problem, are you going to be able to get a hold of them? Because I've had a lot of people tell me who they use, and they've come to me, and I've had to fix the problem. Right. So just be mindful of that. But yep, that's what we do. That's how we plan to keep our business model and how we plan to grow more. So
let me ask you this, because you mentioned the word growth. Let's just say a major auto glass company offered you $10 million today to buy Auto Glass Genie because they see how you could be a pain in their side. Would you sell the company? Why or why not?
That's a unique question because whenever we started this business, $10 million is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But knowing what they're going to do with it,
Mm-hmm.
either close it down or they're going to turn it into them, and then all you done was put a small man out of business. If you'd have asked me that question a year or two ago, I'd probably said, yeah, I'd probably sell.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I would sell now because I know what my goal is, and what I'm trying to achieve and do. And that being said, I will be worth more than that in the next 5 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's short-term money now just because they think I'm a thorn.
Mm-hmm.
But giving something, a legacy, you know, for my kids or whatever the case may be, for them to have and support theirself, their family, and go from there, create job opportunities. You know, we want to get to the point to where we are employer of choice when it comes to glass. There's a lot of people that go to work every day, work out there, and we have had a lot of people tell us that we wouldn't make it. I mean, that's what's crazy is the people tell you you're just not gonna make it. Well,
Based on what you all were doing.
yeah, you know,
Wow.
you know, and when people tell you you're not gonna make it, that just makes you work harder to make it.
Yeah.
And now, you know, we do very well. We're trending up this year over last year. So we got to be doing something right. And
Right.
everybody, and here's the funny part. One of our locations, which is at Kanis and John Barrow, even after 4 years, people still didn't know that we were there. They get referred by a friend that come to us, and then they show up and say, I didn't even know y'all were back here. And
So the
then
referral system
the
is working
referral
great.
system is worth,
It's the oil machine.
yeah. And if it was not, because we don't have no signage except for the building.
Right.
We don't have no road signage or nothing like that. So the referrals is what really has drove this business. And as long as we continue to keep the referrals going and make customers happy and we be fair about our price, people don't mind to pay. They just get mad when they got to overpay. You know, and that's the difference. So, you know, we do a lot more. We do, you know, we offer window tinting. We offer, you know, window regulators and things like that. So we do more than just glass, but anything automotive related, we can do and go from there. But yeah, I'd have to say probably as of right now, I wouldn't sell. You know, I've still got several years ahead of me. So
50 million.
yeah.
You wouldn't sell for 50 million?
Now 50 million, I might have to think about that for a second, bro. 50 million, that's
Who's the highest bidder in here?
50 million.
You okay? Yeah.
50 million, I had to think about that, bro. That's a hard decision.
But let's just say you said, okay, I won't compete with you guys no more for 50 million. What would you do with that 50 million within the ecosystem of your team? Like, would you and your business partner Dre just, you know, split it, walk away with it, and then the people that's worked for you, they got to figure it out? Or would you like make sure that they're at least taken care of, you know, for some time? What does that look like?
You know, 50 million, split it with my partner, and I could still give each of my workers $1 million, and I'd still be happy. $1 million would take care of them for.
Would depend on how. I mean,
depending on how they spend
right,
it and
but
go from there.
if they do right by it, they're good.
They're good.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're good.
They should be able to buy a house and not have to worry about that. But you know, that's you know, because one thing about it is over the past 3 years, they've definitely been some of the drive behind the business because one man can't do it all.
Right.
So they've definitely been the drive behind the business. And just like every business, you have ups and downs and fights and arguments and stuff like that. But
speaking of fights, arguments, you and your business partner, Dre, talk about how many arguments you all have had, how many fights you all have had, and how many disagreements you two have had when it comes to money.
Man, we have had none. I've known Dre since 2013 when we met. He was a tech, and when I come in as a DM, and then he turned around. I had a manager go to the hospital for a while, and we, you know, the location that we were at was real busy, and he basically, we took 30 days. I worked beside him, and he trained me on everything that I knew. And then after 30 days, you know, I was pretty well up to speed. And then we had a Friday that we were busy, and he done XYZ cars and I done XYZ cars, and I was right there with him, tit for tat.
Wow.
So, you know, not, you know, and there's a lot that goes into that, but he's been very patient whenever we were training, but very knowledgeable, and he's been in glass for a long time. But we have never had an argument about money, about a business decision. He supports it one way or another. I include him in anything that we do, decide, or whatever. You know, I send it to him in a text message. What do you think? Which one of these do you like? And he'll send his deal back, and we'll go from there. So that is probably our biggest bond right there. Is one, he knows I'm not going to do anything to hinder the business.
Right.
I know he's not. And then at the same time, he knows everything I decide is for the wealth or the benefit of the business as well, whatever we decide to do and grow. So, yeah, never an argument, and love him to death, you know, by far. So we're going to keep it that way.
Now, Daniel, at one point, there was like really no activity happening on your social media. And, of course, you opened the second location on University Avenue, which is, again, all this is in Little Rock, Arkansas. What has taken place since, you know, you working with Team Vision when it comes to the social media aspect of it, and you know, have you seen any significant changes?
Well, one, you know, I'm not a social media type person.
I know. I know.
Even whenever we met, I told you,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for my businesses that I've had, I wouldn't have Facebook in the first place.
Right.
But so, we had the Facebook page, but we
Right.
didn't really do nothing with it.
Right.
It was just there. Okay. We didn't have a website until February of last year. We got a website February of last year. So we run everything that I've been doing has not been really website, no social media presence. So that's what makes this story so unique. Is you would think that you've got to have all this glamour and
No, you just
glory.
got to get started.
You just got to get it started.
Yeah.
You got to start, and then you got to hustle.
Yeah.
And if you can't hustle or stick to the grind or whatever the case may be, there was days that I was tired. There was a lot of things that I missed out on that I couldn't do because,
Right.
you know, got to go from there. So we got our website up last year. Well, then, you know, this year, you know, we always talk, me and you, we'll meet up, and we always bounce ideas off each other and everything else. So this year, we got to talking about partnering and doing some professional photos.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, and I knew that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that. And then, of course, you know, those turned out phenomenal. And then you started kind of helping us with the media side of that and trying to promote our university location.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had it on our website and stuff, but it just wasn't, you know, I'm focused on work and managing the business, not the social media. You
Right.
know, everybody has their own niche.
Right.
So whenever you come into play and we got you on board with that, and then you started managing that, the university location started seeing an uptick in calls, and walk-ins and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this past month, we seen basically, might as well say a 50 or 60% increase on traffic on our university location.
Wow,
because
that's
of that
good.
on the deal. Well, then you hit me up for doing some commercials. You know, we do the photo shoot, and you're like, well, I'm going to see how much more money I can suck out of it. So what do you do? But no, so we shot the commercials. We got those we got those rolling out hopefully in the next week or two. Those will be nice.
Actually, it'll be out Monday.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
The first one will come out Monday.
I just work here. I just,
right. He don't have to worry about nothing because he know I got his back. And so even with another situation, when it comes to your Google My Business, but the bottom line is I got his back, and your first commercial coming out Monday.
Cool. I'm excited to see that. But I will say this. Partnering with you, which I've always believed in the visions that you've done, and that's why I've always followed suit with you and everything. But with Team Vision, I mean, you definitely get recognized, you get promoted, and you'll see an increase in things. I mean, it's never been a doubt in my mind. And up until this year, it may have just not been the right time until I got university because I was having one location.
Yeah.
Now you got two. Now you got to promote two. And then, like I say, the photo shoot with you, and then the commercials we're doing, and going from there. And then, of course, the national recognition, then, KARK, Channel 4 in Little Rock. It's really brought a brand recognition to us. And so we want to make sure we keep that content fresh and going from there, as you say. But it's definitely going to help us out because, like I say, I do have a third location in mind. I also have a fourth location in mind, but trying to work out and iron out those parts on that.
Right.
So want to try to at least be the largest independent glass service provider in Arkansas within the next 2 to 3 years. So, and then from there, we're going to branch out into surrounding states and just kind of go from there. So that's kind of our vision.
That's powerful. That is powerful. So, Daniel, for the person that is, listening right now who's dealing with failure or setbacks, what would you say about holding on to a vision when everything feels like it's falling apart?
The first thing I say, Kevin, is you got to pray. You got to pray.
Right.
Pray about it. Prayer answers everything. And whenever you think it's just not going to happen, remember it don't happen on our time, it happens on his.
Right.
Second, find somebody that will keep you motivated, uplifted, somebody you can talk to, because I have a couple of those people, and it has been by far, you being one of them, by far the best thing you can do. Have a roadmap. You got to have a roadmap of what you're trying to do.
Right.
What can you do? How do you do it?
Right.
What do I need to accomplish? Give yourself a timeline, and we understand that things do happen. Timelines doesn't mean just because you met it that you give up.
Right.
It just means give yourself more time.
Right.
But still stick to getting that done. With all the obstacles that I've overcome, I've went through, and everything else, I never gave up. I knew what my objective was. I knew what my goal was. But at the end of the day, I never gave up. I've revisited every day. I get up in the morning, go from there, and just keep pushing. It will get easier. It will get easier. And there for a year or two, it's going to seem like you're just not going nowhere. If you ever get so bogged down that you just want to give up, just remember that tomorrow could be the day that it just unlocks.
Wow.
So if you give up one day too early, you just don't know what it could happen. Because like I say, when we first started this, it was really to support myself. And then now I'm supporting 4 and growing and going. So, I mean, don't give up. And I'm 4 years into it. My grandfather, when I was younger, used to always tell me to grow up and be a pencil pusher. Basically, he just tell me, try to grow up and work for yourself. He told me that when I was between 10 and 13, whatever. And I gave myself till I was 45 to go solely and work for myself.
Wow.
Now, mind you, at 13 and 15, that's a 30-year goal. of
The time frame,
understanding.
yeah.
You know, that's not I'm gonna do it at 21.
Right.
So there was a lot of hurdles I had to do.
Right.
I had a lot of coaches, a lot of mentors,
Right.
understanding how to operate a business,
Right.
how to take care of a business. And then I did it by the time I was 44. So I've done it in 29 years. So understand that it's not an overnight thing. It's what are you trying to achieve short term and long term. My long term goal is to hopefully retire in, 10 years and, experience life and live life and go from there. And my short term goal is to make sure that I have people in place that will allow me to do that. So that's what I'm trying to do. Last thing, get with a company like you, Team Vision, that will help you understand, because you cannot do everything, I promise.
Right.
As like I told you, I can't manage Facebook. I can't manage the Google. There's people out here who do that, but there is a reason why big companies have different departments for how they handle. They got, research and development.
Right.
They got marketing.
Right.
They got HR.
Right.
They got payroll.
Right.
There's a reason why one person does not do all this, because that's not their forte.
Man, that makes sense.
And that stuff is, can I do it? Yes. Have you inspired me to post a little more? Yes. Because I have posted a little more with our photos.
Yeah.
But I can't do it all.
Right.
And that's where you come into play.
Right.
And having my back on that part and going from there. So you got to get with somebody that can help you with that. And, if it's somebody or whatever the case may be. But that stuff right there, all I can say is don't give up. You got to keep looking out and keep researching and keep going. So, okay, here's what I got to do. Because like I say, tomorrow could have been the day that you just hit the doors wide open and you never had to worry about nothing else. So.
Wow. And then, so on that note, I gotta give a shout out, because I don't want you all to think Daniel is single, because he's not. So shout out to Tamika C. She's the woman who holds it down in the background. So, ladies, he's taking. So don't. When you reach out to him, it need to be for a windshield. I'm telling you now, though. No, I know y'all won't do that. I know y'all won't do that.
No, they won't do that.
They better not do that. Yeah. But so here it is. My man Daniel didn't just fix windshields. He fixed his future. And so his story is proof that, our current situation doesn't cancel the calling. You can be rebuilding your life one day in one building, a brand, the next, right? And so today's episode, hopefully it encouraged you, it inspired you to take action and be reminded that, you stay true to the vision, but the most importantly, do me the biggest favor and share this episode with people that deserve to listen to this interview. And if you're ever near Little Rock, be sure to visit their University Avenue location as well as their Kanis location. And all that information will be in the different places that we upload this podcast. But until then, this is Catch the Vision, where we just don't talk business. We talk purpose, people, and what it takes to build something that lasts. So remember, catch the vision, catch the vision, catch the vision.